If you've been anywhere near K-pop social media this month, you've probably seen it. A hashtag that made armies and honestly the entire K-pop fandom stop scrolling for a second. Hashtags basically screaming that K-pop as we know it is falling apart. Groups disbanding. Contracts not renewing. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, BTS's name keeps getting dragged in. But before we even get into that, let's talk about something that's been quietly stealing the spotlight this year, because if there's one member who's proven over and over exactly why this group is worth defending, it's Jimin. While all the chaos around HYBE has been unfolding, Jimin has been out here breaking records, selling out arenas, topping global charts as a soloist, and reminding everyone why he's considered one of the most technically gifted performers in the entire industry. Every time this man steps on a stage, it's a masterclass, the vocal control, the dancing, the stage presence that makes an entire arena feel like it's holding its breath. And that's exactly why what's happening behind the scenes with HYBE stings even more, because artists like Jimin, artists like all 7 of them, poured everything they have into this group, and now fans are left asking some very uncomfortable questions about what they're getting back in return. So which is it? Is BTS in trouble, or is BTS the reason HYBE is swimming in more cash than ever? Stick around, because by the end of this video you're going to understand exactly what's really going on behind the curtain, and why so many fans are saying HYBE owes this group more than just a paycheck. Let's start with a photo that's been circulating like wildfire recently. 2 pictures side by side. On the left, a plain, honestly kind of forgettable office building. Nothing special. On the right, a massive glass skyscraper, the kind of building you'd expect from a global tech giant, with the word HYBE glowing across the top in giant letters. The caption under those 2 photos said it all. HYBE before BTS. HYBE after BTS. And that's not fans exaggerating. That's literally the story of this company. Before 2013, this label, back then still called Big Hit Entertainment, was a small, scrappy company most people had never heard of. It didn't have the resources of the so-called Big 3 of K-pop. It was an underdog. And then 7 guys walked through the door. Fast forward to now, and that same company is a publicly traded, multi-billion-dollar entertainment conglomerate that owns labels across Korea and the US, that acquired an entire American company, that signs deals worth hundreds of billions of won. And even Bang Si-hyuk, the founder and producer himself, has said it out loud. In a HYBE briefing, he credited BTS as the starting point and the driving force behind everything the company has become. He said the company couldn't have taken a single step forward without ARMY standing behind them. He said they went through absolutely everything together. Let that sink in. This isn't a fan theory. This is the CEO of the company on record, admitting BTS is the reason HYBE exists in its current form. Not a reason. The reason. Now let's talk about right now in 2026. Just this past week, financial reports came out showing HYBE just had its best quarter ever, record-breaking numbers that even surprised market analysts. HYBE's concert revenue jumped by more than 630% compared to the previous quarter. Not 6%. Not 60%. Over 600%. And what's driving that explosion? The BTS World Tour. Because of that surge, HYBE's total quarterly revenue crossed 1 trillion won for the very first time in company history. That's roughly $700 million in a single quarter, with operating profit landing around 170 billion won on top of that. But here's the part making fans raise an eyebrow. Profitability didn't grow at the same insane rate as revenue, because the cost of running these massive concerts, and the money owed to the artists themselves through settlement expenses, went up right alongside it. So think about what that actually means. BTS didn't just help the company. BTS single-handedly dragged this quarter into record-breaking territory through touring alone. That's Jimin and RM and Jin and SUGA and J-Hope and V and Jung Kook, getting on a stage night after night, generating the kind of money that makes Wall Street-style investors sit up. And yet, a huge chunk of the conversation happening online right now isn't fans celebrating that success with HYBE. It's fans asking uncomfortable questions about how that success is actually being handled. Let's talk about the album that's supposed to be this triumphant return, ARIRANG. On paper, this comeback should have been nothing but celebration. BTS, finally all 7 members back together after their military service, delivering new music for the first time in years. And to be fair, it was a huge moment. The live stream announcing their return pulled in over 7 million real-time views, a number most artists on the planet could only dream of. The comeback concert in Seoul and the world tour that followed have been a genuine triumph, proof this group's connection with fans across the planet never faded. But behind the scenes, according to multiple entertainment reports, the road to this album wasn't entirely smooth. Reports have surfaced claiming that during production, there was real tension between the members and the label over something that sounds almost unbelievable to say out loud: how much Korean should even be in a BTS album. According to these reports, members including RM and SUGA reportedly had to push back specifically to keep more Korean lyrics in their own music. Think about that. This is BTS, the group that put Korean language music on the Billboard Hot 100, and reportedly they had to fight their own label just to stay authentic to who they are. There were even claims a label executive criticized some songs during production. To be fair to HYBE here, no company confirms every backstage disagreement, and creative friction during any album's production isn't automatically a scandal. But when it's this group, with this track record of success specifically because of their authenticity, fans understandably start asking why anyone would ever push back on the exact thing that made BTS in the first place. Here's where it gets personal, because this isn't just coming from anonymous reports. It's coming from the members themselves. Back in December, during a live broadcast on Weverse with all 7 together, RM said something that immediately went viral. While talking about their big comeback plans, RM suddenly said, paraphrasing here, that he wished the company had a little more warmth toward them, that he wished they were taken care of. Jimin reportedly burst out laughing. J-Hope asked him why. Jin, ever the peacemaker, defended the company. But RM went on to say he wasn't sure why he was even bringing it up. He just wished the company would look after them with more attention, and he opened up about severe insomnia from the pressure he'd been under. Then in February it happened again, but bigger. Jung Kook went live on Weverse, alone, late at night, for close to an hour and a half, and what came out of that broadcast honestly shocked a lot of people. He was open, raw, unfiltered in a way idols almost never are allowed to be. He talked about drinking, about smoking, reportedly about receiving death threats, and he didn't hold back about what he called the company's micromanagement. The clip spread everywhere within hours before it was taken down. Some fans said this was the most human, most honest they'd ever seen him. Others worried about what it meant that a global superstar felt like he had to get that emotional, that late at night, just to say things he apparently couldn't say any other way. Put those 2 live streams together, RM in December, Jung Kook in February, and you start to see a pattern. Not one bad day. A pattern of exhaustion. Now let's talk about the money question nobody wants to ask out loud. Back in early 2026, an investigative report went viral, reigniting an old but serious accusation going back to 2021, when Big Hit acquired Scooter Braun's company, Ithaca Holdings, in a deal worth well over $1 trillion. That deal brought major Western artists under the same umbrella, but it also came with a mountain of debt, reportedly funded using a huge chunk of the company's cash reserves plus significant borrowing. The claim resurfacing online alleges that a portion of that acquisition debt was reportedly paid off using company revenue that, during that period, was overwhelmingly generated by one group, BTS. To be transparent, this is a disputed claim, not a confirmed court finding. But the fact this narrative keeps going viral repeatedly over multiple years tells you something about how much trust has eroded between part of the fanbase and the company. If BTS's earning power was in any way used to cover debt from a business deal that had nothing to do with them creatively, that's fans feeling like the group's hard work is being quietly redirected into corporate expansion instead of reinvested into the artists who actually generated it. And just when you think the headlines couldn't get more intense, they did. Seoul police raided HYBE's own headquarters as part of an investigation into founder Bang Si-hyuk himself, over allegations connected to how HYBE's 2020 stock market listing was handled. HYBE has firmly denied any wrongdoing and says it's fully cooperating with authorities. As of now, this investigation is still ongoing, no conclusion, no charges proven. But the timing is wild. A police raid on the same headquarters currently celebrating $1 trillion quarter thanks to the group whose comeback the whole company was banking on. Then there's the stuff that hits fans directly in the wallet. The BTS World Tour ticket prices sparked genuine outrage, with prices in Korea and Japan many longtime fans called simply unreasonable, even accounting for a massive stage production. Then came the merchandise controversy. HYBE partnered with a phone case brand founded in Tel Aviv for part of the tour merch line, including items with slogans many fans felt were tone-deaf given current world events. The backlash was swift, with some fans even calling for a boycott. To be fair, decisions like this happen at the corporate and licensing level. The members themselves are almost never involved in choosing merchandise partners. But the controversy still lands on BTS's public image regardless of who made the call. Separate reports also questioned whether HYBE has been using BTS's massive platform to indirectly boost promotion for newer acts under the label, again without confirmation the members were even aware of it. Individually, any one of these controversies might blow over. But stacked together, ticket prices, merch backlash, promotion questions, financial disputes, a fraud investigation, and members visibly struggling on live streams, you start to understand exactly why the internet is buzzing right now. Now let's address the elephant that brought a lot of you here, those hashtags panicking about K-pop groups disbanding, contracts not renewing, and BTS's name getting pulled into that conversation. Here's the honest truth. A lot of that panic is coming from genuine, real disbandments and contract expirations happening across the industry this year. That part is real. But a huge portion of what's circulating specifically about BTS under those hashtags is speculation, edits, and what-if content, not confirmed news. There is no official announcement of BTS disbanding. In fact, everything we just walked through, the record-breaking revenue, the sold-out world tour, the ARIRANG comeback, points in the completely opposite direction. This is a group at one of the biggest peaks of their entire career. What is real is the tension, the exhaustion in RM's voice, the rawness in Jung Kook's livestream, the frustration over how profits and decisions are handled behind the scenes. That's coming directly from the members and from verified reporting. So instead of panic baiting yourself with disband hashtags, the more accurate story is this. BTS is thriving publicly, absolutely dominating charts, stages, and headlines, while quietly pushing back against a system that, by their own words, hasn't always made them feel taken care of. So where does that leave us? On one hand, a company that openly admits BTS is the reason it exists in its current form, that just posted the best financial quarter in its history almost entirely because of this one group's world tour. On the other hand, members, Jimin included, quietly and sometimes not so quietly, expressing exhaustion and a wish to simply be cared for a little more by the very company they built. BTS didn't just join HYBE's success story. They are the success story. Every skyscraper, every record-breaking earnings report, every international deal HYBE has ever closed traces back to 7 guys who started in a small building with almost nothing, and who are still, right now, at the absolute peak of their powers, filling arenas, breaking charts, and proving with ARIRANG that their connection to fans was never going anywhere. And that's exactly why this conversation matters. Not because we want to drag HYBE through the mud for no reason. Clearly this company has done a lot right to get BTS to where they are globally. But because the people who gave everything to build this empire deserve honesty, deserve care, and deserve to be treated like the reason the lights are still on, not just line items on a quarterly earnings report. What do you think? Is HYBE taking care of the group that built them, or is this a classic case of a company forgetting who got them there? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.